As I was just talking on a radio show, we did not, obviously we didn't perform well. We had great practices, and it's kind of crazy sometimes. You could have great practices and come in, and we just looked like we were sluggish. You know, it's just one of those deals. I remember playing in college, and we're playing in the Eastern Regional Finals against Georgia to go to the Final Four, and we were sluggish. And it's just one of those games. We had 3 great practices leading up to this game, and but you got to perform on game night. And we were not sharp. We didn't have energy at either end of the floor, and they made us pay. They're a good team. They returned 4 starters. These guys are experienced, and then their new guys are very good. The kid Ibrahim plays with a lot of confidence, and we just couldn't get anything going tonight.
You went to the press in the second half. That seemed to work for a while. Have you guys done that much this year?
Yeah, we have. We've done that quite a few times against you know, games early on in the year. I want to say Florida Gulf Coast and a couple other games. Gives us some juice, but they have good ball handlers. Even though they had 17 turnovers, they handle the ball and they broke the press, and they got some easy ones. We changed up our offense a little bit, try to go a little bit more of attacking offense off the ball screens, because we didn't get to the foul line enough in the first half, 0 for 2. The second half we got there 12 times. But it just try to change the tempo, and you know, we did it in short spurts, but not long enough. And again, you got to give them a lot of credit.
You've talked this year about the new influx of athletes that you've got, the freshmen and then also the guys who were here last year but had to wait a year. With that added depth and athleticism, is the press something you could see going to more?
Not really. I think the press, you know, I don't mind being pressed. I think for long stints, especially in college basketball today, where a lot of teams have 4 ball handlers, to be a pressing team just opens up the basket area to good play. So I like to be pressed, because I think you can open up the goal in attack. So short term, yes. Spurts, yes. But for long term, no. I just think that's you open yourself up to, you know, you don't rebound as well, but you get in foul trouble, that kind of thing. So just in short spurts, yes, especially when you're coming from behind.
Out rebounded 36-22. Is that good? They had some big guys, but is that also just going to be something you guys have to overcome this year? You
know, last year we didn't rebound the ball well, even though we had pop. We're not, you know, if anything, we're a little smaller this year. So I don't like to be out rebounded, but it's not a stat that I'm overly concerned about. I'm more concerned about, you know, field goal percentage defense, assist to turnover ratio, you know, numbers like that. We're not going to probably out rebound a lot of teams. With that said, I don't think we did a good job of boxing out, especially Kazemi, who had 5 offensive rebounds, and you know, he's a focal point of our scouting report.
And the poor shooting, is that just what you were saying about being sluggish? I mean, you can't really explain.
No, we you know, if you were at both of our practices, like we had a shoot around today, and then today's what, Wednesday? Practice Monday, Tuesday, shoot around today. We shot the ball the best we shot, you know, the last 2 days. So, you know, I remember as a player, I'd go through warm-ups and some, and I wouldn't feel good, and then all of a sudden I'd have my best games. And then there are other games you feel great and you play poorly. You know, I don't know if anybody believes in biorhythms, but I used to talk a lot about biorhythms. It's just one of those days. It's like an actor, you know, not having it on stage, and yet they were prepared. We were prepared. I felt great about it. We just were not sharp, and that just comes down to performing on game nights, and tonight we didn't do it, unfortunately.
Biorhythms, fill me in.
Just Google it.
Okay.
You know, just, you know, stars, things aligned. You don't feel, you feel like you're in a funk. Your cobwebs in your head, you know, and that's the way we played.
1980s. Coach. When did you first realize maybe the team didn't have it tonight? Right off the bat? Or?
Yeah, probably. We're down, what, 16-2?
Yeah.
Was that the stretch? Was that it?
Yeah.
16-2? Yeah, that's a pretty good indication.
So,
yeah, just weren't sharp, and they were moving the ball. We weren't locating shooters, and we weren't talking on defense like we have been. And, you know, then offensively, we just, you know, get passes deflected. You know, we wouldn't cut hard. It just again, weren't sharp. And it boggles your mind because we've been sharp in practice.
You mentioned Ibrahim, and he and Kazemi combined for 35 points. They both shot over 50%. You mentioned your team didn't really have it per se tonight. Were those guys hotter than you expected, or was this a pretty normal performance for them?
This is the first time that I've recognized where Ibrahim started. I don't know if he started before. You know, they took Tamir Jackson out of the starting lineup for whatever reason, and Ibrahim played like a veteran. You know, he's a freshman, but he played like a senior. And you know, I think you know, Kazemi, you know, you hope he doesn't go for 21 and 12, but you're not surprised by it. The other guys, you know, Kuipers, we gave him 2 open threes that, you know, again, scouting report, being sharp. We were not alert to where he was, and it just, you know, there'll be days like this. Unfortunately, it was tonight.